Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name's George Cottle from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company as is. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Hello, my name's Wendy Martin. I previously played for Tottenham Hotspur Ladies and currently play beach soccer for England and Great Britain.
I'm Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for over 30 years and I'm an experienced football administrator.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, retired professional footballer. I'm now operations manager at Tottenham Hotspur Academy.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and am now a senior county referee.
Hi, my name is Ari Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 8 individual selections.
Thank you very much, George. Good morning, everybody. Before I draw some lines, I'm going to come to you, Wendy. Yours is the yellow cross there that's magnified. If you could explain what you're seeing in the photograph, please, where you think the ball's coming in from, its trajectory, and how you reached your decision, please.
There's 2 players in the picture, one in red and black and one in blue and wearing white shorts. I think the player in red and black, I feel is still grounded on the floor. The player in blue, I think has sort of jumped and sort of at the top of his jump, arm is in the back of the red player. So I've actually think where maybe they were both competing with the ball initially, the player in blue has maybe nudged the player in red underneath the ball a little bit. So I don't think I think the player in blue is favourite to win the ball. I think the ball's coming in from right to left, and it's because of the sort of the way they're both looking. I think that it's not sort of a looping ball. I think it's either sort of bounced up or it's sort of coming in fairly flat, I think, from right to left.
Okay, great. So I should draw some lines in. We've got a fairly big spread up from the player in red up through Jenna's, and then at the bottom through my own, and then from the player in blue, again, I'm the lowest, and then we have Jenna's up the top, the highest. So what I'll do is I'll come to my own first. I'm the lowest of the judges. I took a lot from the player in blue. I thought he was looking down. I didn't actually think he was in the air. I think that the player in red and black, for much to me, is sort of falling over. I just looked at the player in blue's legs, and if he is in the air, I don't think it's very high up, and I think the holding at the back, to me, showed that the player in red and black was going down. He's had a bit of a nudge, his mouth's open, so I think the player in red and black's just been maybe fouled, and he's looking up. I took more from the player in blue. I think he was looking down at the ball for me as it was coming in, maybe a bouncing ball, and the player in black and red, I just took a 45-degree angle and have gone to this low position here. So that's my hang. Kieran, I'll come to you next. You're the blue cross there, the light blue cross that's magnified. You're further away on the roughly the same line as me up from the player in red and black. What did you see?
Yes, thanks, Matt. I agree with you to some extent. I do think the player in red and black has been fouled. I think that he got the left forearm of the player in blue into the top of his back and the knee into his lower backside, or sort of into his backside, rather, lower part of his back. I think he's just a bit in the air because of the way that the leg is off the ground. I think if the player in red and black was going down that much and the player in blue was on the ground, I think he wouldn't be quite that high up on his body. But I do think the foul's already been made, and the player in red and black, I think, is looking towards the ball, but I'm not sure for sure that the ball isn't sort of going past him. I can't see how the player in blue is going to win the ball. I think it's one of these where he's just come straight through the player, the foul's been made, and now we've got this awkward situation where the player in red and black can't win the ball, and I can't see how the player in blue is going to play the ball. I agree, he's looking down, so it's probably just going to come through him. So I think it's just a situation where the player in blue has made the foul, and that's preventing the player in red and black getting the ball. And I'm not sure where the ball is going to go after that.
Yeah, thank you. And I will work my way up. So, Nigel, I'll come to you next. Yours is the darker blue cross, a little bit more central, I would say. What did you see?
Thanks, Mac. Good morning, everyone. I actually contemplated the possibility that the ball's already been played, and that we're witnessing a bit of the aftermath here. That the player in blue has already perhaps won the contest and is heading the ball back over the player in red. And as you know, player in red looking for a foul in the process. I do think that's still a possibility, although I recognise, as my colleague has said already, the ball may well be coming in from right to left. In which case, it's difficult to judge how the player, as Kieran says, how the player in blue is going to win it. But ultimately, we've got two clear eye lines. We can't really see much of the player in blue's second eye, but he appears to be looking straight out. I took head angle very much as a direction of where they're looking to, and for me it's where the intersection crosses. I think the player in red is clearly looking up, and pretty much straight out from his head, and that for me is where the ball meets. The ball for me is on the same plane as the players. So it's not a case where the ball's in the foreground or anything there. I think they're just looking straight out towards it.
Yeah, thank you. Leo, you're next. The green cross, you're ever so slightly furthest away from the red player than the fellow judges. How did you reach your decision?
Yeah, hi, Matt. Yeah, I think the ball is coming from right to left. I think it's there to be challenged for. I think the player in red is getting set to probably head the ball. I think he's looking relatively steep. The player in blue, I think he's probably taken a run and jump at this, man. I think he is off the ground. I think his left knee and his left arm are coming into the player in red. I think there's no way he can get to the ball without fouling the player in red. So I think he's just going to come through him. So I think he's probably just slightly late getting set for the challenge. And I think with his eye line, I think he's looking down, but I felt he wasn't looking too low. I crossed their eye lines, and so it's a ball that's being challenged for, but the player in blue's got to foul the player in red to get to it.
Yeah, thank you. Next, yours is Liam. You're very central. There's your purple cross. How did you reach your decision?
Yes, good morning, Matt.
Morning.
A mixture of what my colleagues have already said. I really agree with what Kieran's explanation this morning, as well. You've got the guy in blue. For me, he's coming through the back of the guy in red and red and black. It's going to be a foul, but I think it's just on that moment. That's when we're judging this photograph. I think he's slightly in the air, as Leo has alluded to, and he is looking down for me. His body's leaning that way. His head's looking down, head angle. Yes, I accept that his brow is slightly furrowed, which generally says to us that there could be a little bit of elevation to his eye line. But for me, I took a line through both eyes, and that's how I got the downward trajectory. Now, the guy in black and red, a little bit different. For me, he's been fouled, so his eye is actually shutting. But he's still trying to see the ball. His head's come back. I think he's still trying to keep the ball in vision. And, I took an angle up from him. And as I've said before, I put my cross there. Does that represent the ball for me? And can I tell the story of, putting my cross there? And yes, I can. And that's where I've come to.
Great. Thank you. Next, yours, Ari, the pink cross there. You're just was sort of starting to go up above the eye line on the player in red. What was your view on this?
Thanks, Matt. Well, I fully agree with Nigel on this one. I felt that this moment it's playing red was completely overwhelmed by the anticipation of playing in blue. I think this is the aftermath of the ball being played. Is feeling the power of the player in red descending on him, obviously charging him because I think he was running and then jumping and then coming down to the floor. And the player in red is looking down, I believe, to the direction of the ball after being headed, and the player in red is looking up, and where those lines cross. That's where I place my dot.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least is yours, Jenna. You're the orange cross. You're closest to the player in blue. What did you see?
Similar to Ari, really. I felt the ball's coming in from right to left as we're looking. For me, I didn't take much from the player in red and black's eye line. I felt that the contact had been made. He'd obviously been fouled, as we've already said. So I don't feel he's looking at the ball. I think it was Liam that said his eyes are closing as a result of probably being the pressure coming in through his back with the arm and the knee. So for me, I took a lot from the player in blue. I felt he was up in the air. It's a clear foul. I think I'm not even sure if he's going to make the ball there. But for me, I just took a lot from the player in blue. I felt he was in the air looking to come through and looking slightly down. As I say, I think the player in red and black's been fouled. So I didn't take anything from his eye line, which is why I'm a little more to the left than everyone else.
Yeah. So all in agreement, ball's coming right to left. There's a scenario where the majority thinks that there's a foul being perpetrated, I suppose, by the player in blue, who's sort of pushing into the player in red and black. As Jenna's just said, she hasn't taken much from this player's eye. So basically he's being fouled and he's going down. He's been looking at the ball, but now isn't looking at the ball. And we have a sort of a central circle. I wouldn't call it a cluster. And we have Jenna's slightly to the left and my own slightly lower. Now, if I hover over this the magnifier over this calculated average at the moment, we see Jenna's is quite a long way out, and we have Kieran, Leo, and myself out. I mean, I would say I'm completely out at this point, maybe a little tucking in. So as lead judge, I'm going to remove Jenna's because she's so far away. And as we see, it brings it further down and to the right. And if I hover over the top of it, we have myself out the bottom, and Ari, Leo, and Kieran still popping out the side. Now, I'm going to go to a panel vote to whether to remove my own. If I do remove my own, it just pops it up into this, you could call it a cluster, a round section of the last six players. It's always six judges, and gives it a little bit more of a centralized higher rise. If I put my own back in, you see the calculated average just drops a little bit, obviously towards my own, a little bit lower and a little bit to the left. If I draw another line through this calculated average, as we see, we've got 4 below, 4 above. 4 below, 3 above. And then again, we have a 3-4 split. If I again remove my own, we have a pretty even 3-3. So I'm sort of probably talking you into this, but there we are. I'll undo those. So hopefully everyone understood that. So Leo, we're looking to see whether we want to judge at this calculated average or remove my own. Or if you've had any other thoughts, please let me know. But that's the initial panel judging at the moment. So what do you think?
Yeah, I would remove yours, Matt, because I just think all the other judges are higher than your one.
Yep. Wendy?
I actually liked the average with Jenna still in, and I know it's sort of general principle to remove people that are that far away, but I actually quite like the average with Jenna still in. I think if you remove Jenna, then it does drop the average sort of a bit lower. So therefore, I think we would need to remove yours as well, just to bring it up that little bit higher as well. But if Jenna stays in, I do quite like the average actually where it was.
Yeah, understand that. But to clarify, as lead judge, I removed Jenna.
Yeah.
So you are the preference now with me
would be to remove yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, understood. Okay, Nigel.
I would actually leave as is, Matt. I think the amount that yours is popping out the bottom isn't that dissimilar from Ari's out the top. I feel that certainly where we moved it across, having removed Gemma's, it's brought it closer to everybody else. I don't think anybody is completely outside that magnifier now. And for me, I think it's a fair average where it is.
Yeah, thank you. Jenna, I know I've removed you, but I value what you see now on this calculated average, which is really what we're voting on.
Yeah, I would remove you just because it brings the average a bit higher. I feel the ball's higher than.
Understood. Liam?
I think you alluded to it yourself. You admitted it in your lead, Matt, and I think you've been very, very honest this morning. But I would remove you. I think you're a little bit too low. I put my neck on the block here with what I'm saying. I think you're a little bit too low, and I think it brings it to that 6, up into that sort of like circle. Yeah, Kieran.
Hi, Matt. Yeah, I find it difficult to judge one way or the other. It's very close. I think I'm going to tip on the point of, with the other judges say to remove, basically because it counterbalances Jenna's being removed. So in taking all of us all together, the average point would be slightly higher. So that's the only reason I can say. I don't have a long, strong reason why, but I would just favour remove.
Yeah. Ari?
Yes, I would remove as well because I felt that the ball would be better slightly higher the average in itself.
Yeah. Okay. So there we have it with myself removed by the panel and Jenna's removed by myself as lead judge. And as I said, if I hover back over, we have pretty much everybody's encompassed. But personally, I like the fact now it's within the middle of 6 choices, and it's a good calculated average. So, George, after myself removing Jenna and the panel removing my own, we're going to judge at this calculated average with the remaining 6 choices taken into consideration.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Please go ahead and click submit. Thank you, judges. The selected coordinates are 29541244. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company ASITS to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.